Oh, God damn it. It's July 21st, 2021, time's ticking. Weather report. And let's see, the icon for the show today was the wrong way, and I just wanted to make a comment about that. And so we did a little bit on with Will Kincaid and stuff yesterday. What was that? Oh, I don't know what that was.
Just Scott making noise, yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so we.
This is the problem is you unmute me as soon as you do the intro.
No, I don't.
I don't realize it.
Yeah, that happens automatically. So everybody gets unmuted automatically. So
okay.
Anyway,
get used to it.
Yeah. So so they did a little spiel, and I listened to the first 2 minutes of it, and then later on, and I found basically some things that I felt needed correcting, some misinformation about myself. And so later on, I went on a Smoky stream, but they did. I don't know how long they talked about us, but I did not listen to it because I consider the wrong way for me to listen to that and then do a comeback video, and then they do a comeback video, and then I do a comeback video, and everybody gets like sick to death of fucking comeback videos. So I didn't listen to it. So if they misrepresented me in any other way, if somebody notices it, I will address it. But other than that, I'm not willing to attack them. And I think I am going to have a conversation with Smokey in an attempt to just kind of quiet things down a little bit and get things on a more peaceful track between the Christians and myself, than I have been, because I guess the main reason is because it's getting kind of boring, and the speed of pudding, speed of meth head. I mean, this idea they have of me just seems way, way out of sorts with who I think I am. And not only that, but it's degraded into just the same memes over and over again. And it's like, come on, let's at least move on and get some new things to pick on me about, or maybe some slightly deeper topics is what we need, right? Deeper than pudding. Yeah. Pudding isn't very deep. It's about 3 inches.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you're a real pig, then it's 12 inches. But I do 12. I'm sorry, but anyway. So that's what the wrong way is about.
Yeah, I had quite the long conversation with Smokey today myself. And actually, very first time. I don't think I've never gone on his channel ever. Of course, I've known Smokey for, I've been within the community for, over a year, and he says his channel's only been going for about a year, about that. Well, I think it's a little bit longer than that, but maybe not. I'm not sure, but so I've been around since the beginning. And I've never been in this side chat for many years, for the whole that year, and we've had a little battles in side chats a little bit, but I've never actually gone on his channel, and today was the first time. And I thought we reached some common ground, or at least a little bit of understanding. To me, I thought, he's like you're saying, that this type of crap of response videos and attacking and that, hopefully it'll slow down. Right.
I think they've done some things that were wrong. And I won't add a bunch of adjectives to that. I just, I think sometimes the things that they do are sort of, if not in poor taste, just really bad ideas as far as social discourse. And I'll point that out to them. But as far as sitting here judging them or bitching about them, I'm just kind of getting tired of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think better to have some good discourse than do that, right?
Yeah.
Judging. I definitely try. I try not to judge people, because I don't consider myself special. A lot of Christians do, unfortunately. That's kind of a big
Yeah.
thing with them. So that can lead to some bad behavior, right? I mean, if you think you're better than somebody else, that's not a good thing, really. So.
Let's. There are four articles at midnight linked to me on the brain, and the one or two of them are probably worth talking about. And then Scott has two articles that we linked in the description that we might talk about. But were you going to say something, Top Dog?
I was just going to say to continue that subject of talking to others. We really needed to first establish our goals so we can be on the same page.
Yeah.
So this is just in from Newsweek 53 minutes ago. Researchers observed first recorded lethal chimpanzee attacks on gorillas. I put the link in the live chat. But yeah, apparently there was some violence between gorillas and chimpanzees, and some gorillas got killed.
Wow.
That will be very interesting to see. But one thing I think is triggering it, climate change, because scarcity of food. Of course, it could be abuse of the land, taking away habitat and stuff like that too. But
yeah, it could be that they just do that kind of thing now and then.
Yeah. Every once in a while, get together and have a rumble with the silverbacks.
Yep. Okay, I put a link for that in the description also. And what else? Let's see. Okay, so how shall we proceed? Maybe before I run out of energy, I should talk about the brain thing.
Brains.
There you go. Yeah, you got something you want to talk about? Yeah.
Okay, so I was hoping to have Midnight in here first, but so anyway, let's do the other things and see if he gets his butt out of bed and comes in to talk about these articles that he linked. Yeah. Yep. So, chunk of ancient supercontinent discovered under New Zealand. You want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about that?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. Basically, there's been several cycles of supercontinents, at least 3, I guess, and it's been especially hard to find traces of older continents under New Zealand in that area. I think that area was called Zealandia. Real creative, and they've just basically been doing measurements and taking samples, and they believe they've just found some small areas that could be a part of that ancient supercontinent. At least it's providing enough evidence to continue looking.
So they found some.
We're here. He could tell us more if he even knows about it.
So they found some zircon crystals, right?
Oh yeah, they are looking at some crystals.
And the
always looking at crystals, man. When you're talking about geology.
The creationists claim the zircon crystals are leaky or something. They're leaky. I don't know. Anyway,
they don't understand how helium halos or something like that.
Okay. Billion-year-old.
I forget the halos, but this hasn't got anything to do with it.
A billion-year-old supercontinent.
Yep.
Continue reading. Oh God, do I have to pay? Oh no, I guess I do.
Yeah. So this must have been
you can certainly read on. I'm going to read it later.
That must have been like part of, like you said, the main supercontinent, and that part of it slipped under possibly the continental divide, or part of, I don't know how geology worked. Like that part of it slipped under. New Zealand is
it breaks up, and then things get subducted.
Yeah.
Or things tear apart, and they leave behind remnants. Like there's a section of the East Coast that's basically a remnant from North America being attached to Africa.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, Craton, if I'm not mistaken, is basically the base of a continent or a floating piece of crust.
Yeah.
And apparently they found a chunk of it that's pretty old, and that's what the article's about. So they're looking for Zealandia, the lost continent. I don't think we're going to find it there in that galaxy, but anyway.
Probably not, but it's a pretty picture.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have that article covered in the description because I am so good at that shit. Right?
That is correct.
I expect people to email me daily and tell me how good I am at writing descriptions for and they never do.
Well, it's just like having kids. They don't call, they don't write.
That's right. Well,
I have gone back to videos and got links and things like that so does that help, or does that make you feel good?
Oh yeah,
I definitely do. I have gone back and said, "Oh, I know that's such and whatever I was looking for." Or I go back and get it, and so
that's why I do it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful.
I do it so people will go back and find the videos and the links, and it kind of gives us a context. And I date it every day, so we got a date, we got a context. We can kind of figure out what the hell. What we were talking about. But, I'm so happy that you are the one person on this fucking planet that's using my description. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I've many times, not just the one time either. Many times I've done that. Yeah.
Someday I'll have
hopefully other people. Yeah, hopefully other people are doing it. But
2 or 3 people. Anyway,
that would be nice. Yeah.
Okay, 50-foot tall mega ripples from dinosaur killing asteroid are hiding under Louisiana. Ooh, that's rich.
That looks pretty cool.
Pretty wild. Yeah. And the way they discovered them was through, how they put those little explosives in the ground. They blow up, and then they measure the sonic vibes that come back at them. And you can measure how deep things are and how dense and how far down they go once you find them. So it's pretty wild. But you would expect such a big impact to send out tsunamis, and basically these are the how you see evidence of waves coming back and then leaving and coming back and then leaving, and you have these patterns of swirls like on the edge of a beach or whatever. That's kind of, I think, the pattern it takes.
And as soon as you use that word tsunami, the creationists are going to jump on this shit and they're going to say that's evidence for Noah's flood.
Yeah, probably. Yep. Oh, Jesus.
Found under Louisiana.
And obviously that would be on the mainland wherever they did this testing, right? Obviously it's not along the coast or in the ocean or any, right?
Yep. It's called a seismic survey. So anyway, mega ripples, an average wavelength for one crest to the next of 2,000 feet almost.
Yeah.
Combined with 52-foot high amplitude makes them the largest ripples documented on Earth. Oh, God, I can see the flood geologist just jumping on this shit. Oh, I
can imagine how many charges they did, because I've seen that done before, and they put a shitload of charges, that they set off in like sequences or however they do it. And they have to, it's quite the project to do that.
Now, how did they date it? Mega ripple, in essence, sedimentary rock made of mud, basically clay, over a period of 5 million years during the Paleocene. So they don't tell you how they dated.
There's a study, Earth and Planetary Science Letters, July 2nd. So you can probably get to that.
Yeah, we're going to be hearing about this. We are going to be hearing about this. So, do they have a PDF? Purchase PDF. They have a purchasable PDF. Chicxulub impact tsunami mega ripples in the subsurface of Louisiana, imaged in petroleum industry seismic data. That is the name of the paper, and I will link the paper in the description for anybody who wants to pay for it.
Yeah.
And air quotes, pay for it.
Oh, so that was part of the oil industry that did it?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, because they got a lot of digging, or all the wells and stuff out in the Gulf and whatever.
Right. Yep.
Yep. So
Okay. We got no midnight yet.
Midnight was in Smokey's stream with me and didn't hardly say anything. Barely contributed to the conversation. He just sat there listening. He didn't really say much.
Yeah, I called him up to yell at him about being on Smokey's stream, and then me and you were there too, and you pointed that out, and I said that's different.
Yeah.
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 I wouldn't have gone on, but you went on first, and then I'm sitting there, and then I put that comment in the chat, and I wanted him to just respond to that. That's all I cared about. I wasn't planning on going on, and then he started screaming, and I wanted a response from that. I wanted him to address what I said. So the only way I could get him to do that was to go on. So that's pretty much why I did it.
So if I jump off a cliff, David?
No, I definitely am not going to follow you, but I felt it was okay because you did it first. So
I see. Okay. So your brain has limits. Here are some simple ways to extend your mind according to science. And this is kind of a little pop sci article about, but it points to a subject that is kind of interesting. Andy Clark. I didn't know David Chalmers was into the extended mind, but basically it's the idea that your mind doesn't end at your brain. We have this idea of what is my mind, and we'll say, oh, it's my brain. Well, that's kind of bullshit, because almost everything that's happening in your mind right now is so tightly coupled to everything that's happening in the world around you within about 50 feet and with your body, that when you think, where is my mind, it might be a good idea to say, well, it's sort of like in, the area, this fuzzy area around me, which is kind of cool, because then when another person walks into the room and starts talking to you, you are both kind of sharing very much of your mind with each other. And doesn't it actually feel that way when you're communicating with somebody that this sharing of the mind? But this idea of where is my mind and how are we going to demarcate that? So the mind, when we say where's our mind, it is a first person point of view. Well, most of what's happening in your mind is actually the proprioception, they call it. That's a feeling of where your limbs and joints are in the world and where you are in the room. And for us primates, it's highly involved in everything visual that's coming into us, right? So the things that we're thinking about, if you look at mind as a stream across time, are basically our body and ourselves moving through space and in time, that sort of thing. And that becomes what your mind is. So, and then when you run into another person, a large part of your mind is engaged in reading their expression, their eyes, the movements that their body's making, and that all becomes part of your mind. So that's how we basically socialize. We share this little bit of first person experience, and we have, of course it isn't exact, because he's looking south and you're looking north. But I mean, there's a lot of the room ambiance and everything that you guys are sharing when you communicate with another person. So this Andy Clark, I think, is noted in the Wikipedia as being an extended mind guy. Let's see, Evan Thompson, Francis Varela, and a number of other thinkers, Mark Johnson, some philosophers, what the hell's his name? I'll think of it. Anyway, are all basically involved in this extended mind idea that, we have to start thinking in terms of, we don't necessarily have to restrict our mind to our skull. The only people that do that are called representationalists. These are people believe that sort of say that there's a homunculus viewing a representation of the mind. But they have the problem of what the fuck is the homunculus? Who's viewing this mind? The extended mind people look at it more as an event happening physically in time in a place in the world. And so they don't look at it as your brain gets it creates a representation of what you're seeing. And there's just a whole lot of science and philosophy behind this idea. So, but anyway, so that's what thinking only doesn't happen only in the brain. And then you extend your mind with your body. And this article shows a number of different ways to do that. And let me see, your brain has limits. Yeah, okay. I'll link this one in the description. And then you extend your mind with physical space and with social interactions, which is kind of what I'm saying. And it's kind of cool. So it's a really good article. And I don't think did they link any papers? It's probably connected to somebody that's trying to sell something. So anyway, so I just want to point that out. What do you think of that, boys and girls? Is anybody going to push back on this idea and say your mind is in your skull?
I kind of was. It's more like our nervous system too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
part
then
of the body.
Are you saying like if we feel waves from something, whatever started that wave, we're a part of that too?
I think so. Well,
So,
because what do you mean by feel waves? Like be sitting at the
I guess
beach?
sound waves or wave from anything, I guess.
Oh,
I
well,
guess I couldn't think of one to think
Well,
of
you
to
definitely
say.
feel sound waves, but
yeah, it's the sound waves are very, very complex. Okay, as they're entering your body. Okay, if we're going to look at sound waves, and they consist of a very extremely complex waveform, right? And they're hitting your body, and then it goes, into your ears and through your thalamus, and it goes, basically to all parts of your brain. So and it's within about 200 milliseconds to 1 second. So it goes into your brain and it reverberates with all of the sound experiences you've had in the past, and you are interpreting that in some way based on all these sound experiences in the past. But that interpretation, along with the waves themselves, along with the complex things that are creating those waves, are basically all part of what your mind is right now. Because when you're hearing a sound, I'm hearing my cat meow and I'm looking at my cat. I'm also getting visual input, and the visual input comes in as as another complex, right? And reverberates with all of my past visual experience. And the two things connect up. So now we have the sound and the vision connecting up. So in a lot of ways, your mind is a complex, little tight focus, in your skull of a network of waves that are very much connected to whatever's out there.
So
And
just
I
like
get a bit-
gravity waves, even.
yeah.
What's
So
that?
we're connected to the whole universe.
Yeah. And so
I got a good question. All right, so we must be able to like register and remember and in within your brain what sounds are, right? You must have a massive storage of that, much more so than you would learning things. I don't know, maybe not, I don't know. Right? Because it seems like like you said, you can recognize sounds because of your brain is looking through all the sounds that you've heard in the past, right? That's kind of how it's. So
yeah, and you're connecting them, and then, but the thing is that when you come up, okay, when you hear the cat meow, and then you remember cats, and then you connect it to this rational thought, that is a cat meowing. That rational piece of your mind is a very, very, just the very tip of the iceberg of what's going on. You're feeling a whole lot more than just that idea that you're hearing a cat meowing. So your experience is very, very multifaceted and multiplex, right? So you're not only hearing the cat meowing, but you're also feeling yourself in the world at the same time, and you're seeing the cat, and you're, there's just all these things going on. So when you because it's impossible to say that the mind is a bunch of neurons firing, right? That doesn't make sense. But to say that the mind is all of these things kind of interleaves with your past, that explains why consciousness has this strong qualia. It has a strong qualitative aspect to it, because you're not just thinking like some little mundane thought that's a cat meowing. You have this entire mess of experience all happening to you at once. And that's what it's like to be alive, to be a human with the kind of brain we have. You're this focused little buzzing box, right? That anytime you disturb it with some ripples, it just keeps rippling. And then it's almost indelible, because it changes your memory and it changes who you are. And so it's just a nicer way to think about what is my mind.
For me, it's like multiple programs running. So like your neurons and stuff are reacting I mean, from the sensory input and stuff. And you have like many programs to understand each sensory input, especially in the memory.
Amy Newman sighting. Alert. Anyway, it's just, anything you say about it is reductive in that, so like people will say, oh, your mind is just your neurons firing. That's a reductive statement that doesn't cover the reality of what we have.
It's like a computer, just electrons firing or whatever going through the computer. It doesn't mean anything when you understand the complexity of programs running.
Right, your brain is not running programs. Actually, Icarus said that, and that is very accurate, because it's just a network responding in the world to all that's around it. Like if you were to put in a not a sensory deprivation tank, but if we disconnected every single thing that was impinging on your mind, including your hypothalamus, so you couldn't even feel how healthy you were, or how much oxygen you had anymore, and your mind had no inputs at all, you would immediately probably not be conscious. You'd probably be unconscious in some sense. You'd be like this blank spot. That kind of happens to us every night when we go to sleep, because our thalamus disconnects from most of our body. And we can feel a few things. We hear a lot. There are loud sounds and things that get through, but very much at night. So what did it feel like when you were in a deep sleep last night? That's what you would have if you were completely deprived of this connection to the world around you. So,
and I was going to say more about the programs be like in a quantum state, I guess. So our human understanding for a brain would not know how programs work in that sense.
That's fine. Did you say quantum?
Yeah, that's how our brains kind of work, isn't it?
Well, not really. That's going to be the next article here. This is makes reference to Roger Penrose and Stuart Jackamoff or Jackerhead, Hammerhead. I can't remember his name. It's the other article that he sent to me, which and that's I'm pretty sure that's why he's hiding from me, because he sent me this goddamn thing. But this is so the new research tries to explain consciousness with quantum physics. That sounds real impressive. So here we are, Penrose and Jackamoff, controversial theory, right here.
Don't show that to Quantum John.
I know.
He'd be all giddy over that, right?
Shit. Oh, coffee. I'm dying. Okay. Anyway, so they're looking for basically these quantum traces, and they talk about fractals and a few other things. And they have a paper associated with this. And I don't think I've linked this yet. But anyway, it's pretty much just, they're talking about these microtubules in the brain. And microtubules are, well, basically they're in all cells. So those are the little tubes that you see those walking men carrying the spheres on in the animations, of the cell. So microtubules are in all cells, right? But they are particularly prominent in neurons. And they run from the nucleus, where proteins are made, all the way along the axon, which is the where the nerve fires to another neuron, right? So there's a cell nucleus, and then there's an axon, which is where the what they call the efferent signals go from the brain. Okay, they're exiting out through this neuron, and this microtubule is in charge of carrying neurotransmitters out to the synapses, because with the electrical impulse hits a synapse, it releases these neurotransmitters into the synapse and communicates with another brain cell. Okay, so these microtubules are basically transporters of cell materials. Well, Jack Meehan and Penrose came up with this idea that, because they have found quantum effects in these microtubules, or they postulated quantum effects in the microtubules, that could explain consciousness, right? That the neuron, this one neuron, basically had some little tiny bit of consciousness in it. And this is just pure, unadulterated bullshit that came out of the minds of two people who should have known better, basically, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Because for one thing, those microtubules are constantly being torn apart and recreated on the other end. So they're being torn apart at one end, being recreated on the other end. And somehow these guys think that there's this quantum field that's going to explain consciousness. And the problem with that is the resolution of the idea. Okay. So that one neuron is going to fire, once or fire repeatedly in a pattern. It is not going to have some big chunk of consciousness. It's just going to fire. That's all it does. It just lights up another neuron. So they're thinking at too fine a grain about consciousness, and that's how they explain qualia, or the qualitative things. So it's just absolutely, it's a real leap, an absolute leap. But this researcher has a paper, and I will link the paper, and he's actually trying to find quantum transport and fractal networks. And anybody's welcome to read it. I'll take a look at it at some point, but I recommend it for toilet paper, napkins at your family picnic, or whatever you use it for. But anyway, somebody might want to read it. In my humble opinion, they're all wet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. But anyway, but that was the only article that Midnight linked to me that I have a problem with. The other ones are pretty good. There's one on emotional self-awareness, and I might put that in if I can find it. But okay, so let's see. There's the next web, and here's the paper itself. And I don't know. I got to keep an open mind, right?
Yeah. I mean, you never know what discoveries we'll make in the future, but
yeah,
it does sound kind of far-fetched to me too. But I don't know. I don't know enough about it, so I couldn't really say, to be honest.
I used to think that quantum entanglement was far-fetched when I first heard about it, but then here the scientists are working with it all the time. So
yeah, but I've looked into this. That's to a pretty fine degree, Top Dog, and I'm still not finding anything. But for quantum entanglement, there was a whole lot of things you could find there that actually indicated that there might be something there. For this shit, by Stuart Hackmeoff, by the way, is or Hack 'em Up, I think is how you pronounce it. He's a dentist, I think, or an anesthesiologist or something. Somehow he hooked up with Penrose, and it's a long and twisted story.
Well, that would be enough to give you a pause.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I'm a high school dropout, so what the fuck do I know? So.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, think about the idea of the quantum effects in the cell. they're there, but I don't know how you connect them to consciousness. You have Brownian motion, and you have you have stochastic effects rather than mechanical linear kind of effects. So
Yep.
Could you understand the computer programming and stuff if you were just looking at it from outside?
No, but you can understand it if you read about it and you figure out how microprocessors work, and I've done all that, and then it makes sense, right? And okay, I've tried to do that with what the fuck's his name? Stuart Hackmeup's idea, and I couldn't make any sense of it. There was no connection between the things that basically allow you to do cognition. Okay, there's a lot of work that's been done on cognition and what happens when we think. Connecting that to microtubules inside of the neuron just doesn't make any goddamn sense, and I can't make any sense out of it. I can't find any bridge from one to the other. One neuron, it would be like saying that there's a quantum thing going on inside of one bit on your microcomputer in one of your memory chips, right? That one bit, that's either 0 or 1. There's a program going on in there that's quantum related that does all your taxes for you. Basically, that one bit is all you need to do a 1040 form.
I don't know if that's what it was talking about.
That's what they're talking about. They're talking about that basically consciousness being in those microtubules, somehow embedded in those fractals. And what they're looking for is they're trying to explain qualia. They're trying to explain this qualitative aspect of experience. And they're making that leap, and it's this battle. I mean, you could call it a little pee-pee leap, where you get from your if to your then by just pure bullshit. They never make that connection. And if you read this, I have not read this article, but I'll bet you $10. Won't go any higher because I'm not wealthy. That if you read this article, you're not going to find that connection. You're not going to find that connection between this quantum fractal bullshit and your cognition. You're not going to find a way to represent cognition. So anyway.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm just a closed-minded high school dropout.
Our what do we call Stephanie? Our resident
poet.
Yeah.
Spiritual poet.
She's trying to explain it to you with light, but I can never figure out.
We could make her our poet laureate.
She's our poet laureate. The mind being the light. All focused by the I and you. Remember, all that light is not in time. So is the field. Yeah, so I kind of agree with that.
So I'm wondering if she would probably get along really good with Stephanie. Would get along with what's Church of Entropy? Is it Entropy? Right, Church of Entropy. The woman there that Leo did.
Oh yeah,
over it because she kind of talks about like everything's a light, and I don't know. It's kind of hard to understand what she's getting at, some of her stuff, but I think those two would they might hit it off. I wonder if Stephanie's ever spoken with her before, because she would probably get along great with her.
Otangelo could straighten us out on this.
Yeah,
we miss him. We miss you, Otangelo.
Yeah, Stephanie. I mean, Stephanie goes to a lot of streams, so I would think she must know that Church of Entropy. Yeah, I would think she must.
Stephanie goes to stream simultaneously.
Yeah, she does a lot of stream. Yes, so she's a phys. Yeah, so all right. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't see eye to eye. I thought you did, but maybe not.
She's what you Church of Entropy is what you call a woeful physicist. Woeful.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with awful, though it's very close in the definition sphere. So.
Yeah. Well, Speed, I did my best. Best, folks. On Tangelo here to try to get him to at least sit down and have a one-on-one with you at least, and try to, smooth things out. That's all I was trying to do, mainly, but he seemed to get pretty upset over it. He's very upset. I don't know why he's so mad, but
Why does Icarus want to ban Thomas? No banning.
Yeah.
Why does Icarus want to ban Thomas? What did Thomas do? What did you do to Doubting Thomas?
Oh, she's saying Ontangelo. He's trying to say Ontangelo 3 times so he'll show up.
Oh, goddamn.
And
Maybe we should ban him.
Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, usually if you say that used to be the case. Remember, I mean, you'd say Ontangelo's name 3 times and he would show up. But he was, he was a long-time listener, listened all the time, so he was usually lurking around most of the time.
Something I learned today is if you say Will Kincaid 3 times, he will materialize like, what did he say, like a pixie dust, some other, I don't know what the fuck he was saying.
Yeah, I didn't, like I said, I don't know. I don't know if Ontangelo is just more mad at me too. I don't know, or really mad at you. I don't know which it is, but
maybe somebody can tell Otangelo. Okay, I have a browser bookmark tab where I pop up my main. Oh my god, he fucking showed up. It's true. He shows up.
What could you possibly fucking want that you dragged me out of my realm for?
I'm sorry. It was just a demonstration. I did.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
sorry.
could you fucking stop? I have shit to do.
Okay, fine. Okay. We won't do it again. I'm sorry.
I swear to actual fucking God.
I apologize. We won't.
It's fine. What's going on in here anyway?
There's no actual gods. There's only possible gods.
We're talking about brains and other weird shit.
Well, not if you live where I live, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, apologies, Will.
It's okay.
Okay, but
we're all living inside the Godhead. Nothing is real. It's all a dream. Okay, I'm gonna go now. If there's nothing else.
Thank you, Will.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
See?
Okay, there you go. That worked. I don't think it's going to.
It'll work.
You're pretty good. I don't know if it'll work with Ontangelo. Like I said, he's...
Well, no, I was explaining that I have this main tab of bookmarks that I always pop up that has my mail and my YouTube, thing and my databases. And and in there was the Benny Hill song. Okay.
Yeah.
I took it out. So I'm not tempted. So I can't.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not on my tab. So browser Tourette's isn't going to get me. So Otangelo is safe.
And the funny thing is, like I said, I tried to talk him into it, just come and have a chat with you, and that you're just playing around, whatever. And I tried to talk you out of playing that the last time you played. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I did.
And it was Peter. I know it was Peter, but
it wasn't me.
So
maybe,
and I don't think Ontangelo even, he probably didn't even realize it or whatever that I said that, or, for Christ's sakes, I was really nice to him the last time we talked. We had a nice conversation over at, on Midnight's channel, and, I've been good to him, and actually one day before I even asked him if he was gonna stop by, he actually said hi to me in a stream one time, like prior to that, without me even saying anything to him. He said, "Hey, hi, how are you?" And I said, "Very good, whatever, great, thank you, whatever, just the greetings." And then the next time I saw him, that's when I asked him, "Hey, are you gonna stop by sometime?" And boy, he was pissed. He was not happy with that. So I think he wants to stick to his word. Like he said he was, remember he said he was going to be gone for 2 weeks. I'm gone for 2 weeks. Now this time, if you play it again, I'm gone for 4 weeks. So he probably has it marked on his calendar, and he's not going to come back.
Okay, this time was 2 weeks. Next time is supposed to be 4 weeks.
I think I think he said, no,
4
I
weeks
think it's,
this time?
yeah, I think it's 4 weeks this time. I think.
Okay, if you run into him, ask him to come onto the channel and clarify that for us.
yeah, yeah. From now on, I'm not asking him anymore. He threatened to block me, and you know, yeah, he's pissed at me, so I'm not asking him anymore. I tried, I did my part. That's
Who's that
it.
other apologist, Bozo, Darth Dawkins? Does he work that way?
If
You know that-
y'all say his name 3 times, you mean?
Yeah, that really angry fellow.
Yeah,
That really angry fellow.
yeah. He got in a big battle. Tom Rabbit, of course, puts out videos of him every day, and he just got in a fight with one of his buddies, like this guy named Concrete. His name is.
Yeah.
But I thought he was one of his buddies. I thought they were buddies, and they got in a big fight like yesterday, or day or two ago.
We know how the Christians are with their little buddy groups, and watching Praise's channel. If you were to try to chart who's mad at who and who's getting along with who, you would end up with a big bunch of scribbles, you know. And there's no way that you could actually chart it. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I've been watching Praise lately. So
I say just get it over with and be mad at everybody.
Yeah.
Like
Where's
I'm pretty
Lil
much
PP?
So, you know, just stay that way.
Where's Lil PP been showing up lately? I haven't noticed him in the last few days.
He's pissed at us too. He's really mad at
Is
us.
he mad at us?
He is, yeah.
What did we do to him? We were nice
Did
to
you
him.
see? Did you see that he mentioned your little scheme that you did, that you were pulling by? We were playing the little game with. You would put him in the description, or put him, you know, in your thumbnail or something, and then we would mention him the whole stream.
Yeah, he complained about that.
Oh, he's pissed about that. Yeah.
He's
So
pissed
I
about
think that's a big part. I think that's at least part of it.
Yeah, he said, yeah, they put it in the description, and then they say one thing, and then they don't drop it. They don't go any further. It's like, yeah, we kind of planned it that way, John, or Little PP.
Yeah. He definitely is mad about that. So, and I tried to start a thing with, you know, mentioning him every day to make him feel good. You know, I wanted him to feel welcome and make him feel good.
We're talking about him now.
Yeah, I was trying to. I started that, but then it got all screwed up, and
we do want to. We do want to mention our, you know, and we should mention Stanley and the Fruit Bat.
Yeah.
Erica just did another video on them, didn't she?
Yeah.
On their book.
You have the Library of Errors.
Yeah. I'd love to have Stanley come in.
John Perry's going to do a part 2 on that thing. He just did the part where Matt, he called himself Matt Man in the video, but where Raw Matt raised his objections, and I guess he's going to deal with something that Stanley said.
Where's AJ been?
Yeah, I haven't seen him. What the fuck's up with Stanley? He's been, you know, he comes into chat a lot, and he just
talks about movies.
We've asked him. You've asked him many times to come in and have a chat. What the fuck is his problem? Like, he just will not.
Well, I want to debate him again, round 2 on chromosome 2, because we had a debate a long time ago, and I told him I don't want to debate chromosome 2 because I'm not ready, and he insisted, so we went ahead and did it. And for a year, he's been telling everybody, "Oh yeah, I really just trounced him on chromosome 2," and he didn't. He came up with some bullshit about satellite DNA and some other stuff that I wasn't prepared to address.
Yeah,
because I hadn't read the papers, and but that was a long time ago, and that was when
that's going way. That's a long time ago. Like,
yeah, and he also pushed me to 9 o'clock at night when my brain, 99% of my brain is already sleeping.
Yeah,
All right, guys, I gotta check out. I got some babysitting to do.
Okay. See you, Scott. Take care.
See you. Nice chatting with everybody. Have a good one.
Scott. Yeah.
Bye.
See you.
And I was hoping, wanted to ask Will if get some of your little, get some friends to come from Smokey's channel. I'd love to have some of the people from the chat, like somebody, you know.
Well, we'd like to get one Christian in here with a small room like we got now, and just, very politely have a conversation with them about it. Yeah. Because like if they had questions about evolution, like come up on Praise's channel, I would like them to come here and bring us those questions.
Yeah.
And
And
we can help them.
yeah, and like and even if I think if we can open up the dialogue, right? And let's say in the future, right? Let's say hopefully we're going to work this out. We'll try to entice people to come in. And if there's a big room, I have absolutely no problem. I'll jump out. That way the person doesn't get dogpiled or anything. I have no problem. And then just my suggestion would be, Speed, at least to start it off, is if it's a large room, just ask, okay, we don't want this person, we don't want to be dogpiling anybody, whatever. So either, keep it civil, or if you, or whatever, or maybe try to get people to jump out or throw them out, whatever it takes, to try to work it in like that, maybe.
Yeah, the only people banned on this channel are there's a few obvious ones like P Mars, but the only people banned right now are Danny's 175 sock accounts, and Cell Cordova.
Yeah,
he's not allowed.
He would never come anyway.
Well, he's not allowed. He can't come in. Wouldn't have him.
Yeah.
I don't want that kind of shit on my channel. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I don't got anything else today, guys.
I know. I was going to look into that Praises channel to see if we had any material there with the, them talking about demons, and that would be a very interesting conversation. But I was going to do it, but then because I jumped on Smokey's channel, you jumped on Smokey's channel. I thought for some reason, for sure that people were going to come. Like I thought maybe Smokey would show up, or So,
I think what they mean by demons is if somebody doesn't agree with them, that they're possessed by demons. Is that what they mean by demons?
I don't know. Well, I mean, right? They all have some sort of different view about it, right? This, just like all the different doctrines, right? They all, like view it differently. So it's, I mean, you almost have to talk to either a group of people or one person. About their right, because it's. I think it's kind of crazy. Like I said, I listened to that stream.
You're really breaking up again, by the way.
I listened to that stream, and I didn't find anything. I only listened to it for probably 10 or 15 minutes, and I didn't find anything real interesting. But it did kind of scare me a little bit. Like I said yesterday, it was like they
kind of freaky.
The way they talked about it, it was almost like, if you thought somebody was really either demonized or possessed or whatever you would call it, that they would like almost be like wanting to kill them. It was like, that's scary to me. Like,
you gotta review that and bring us some tidbits on that, because we got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, like,
and make sure 10 toes up, 10 toes down, 4 big buns rolling around, a big hunk of meat going in and out. What the? Oh shit! I'm not reading that. What the fuck? That went so fast. Doting Thomas. What the? Jesus. Anyway, it's a kid's show. Come on. It's a children's. It's a family show.
That would be that would be a very interesting conversation to have with Christian. Like that whole group of people that was in Praise's channel, to join in on that and really dig down deep into it, like that would be quite interesting. Definitely.
So let's shoot her in the head early, guys.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Like I said, I'll look at that stream. Like I said, I didn't I didn't bother because I really thought that somebody was going to show up today for some reason. I don't know. I just had a feeling that it could be a busy day, so I didn't bother taking the time to go through that and try to find something. But I will. See if I can do it tomorrow. Yeah.
I mean, they were all in the chat going off on me about my books and how dumb I am and how little I know and all that stuff. And I just want them to come over and have a conversation about all that, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure out, if I know anything or not. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, you certainly can't have conversations in chat. You can't, it's really very difficult.
yeah, we can figure out where they got their evidence and, you know, how they
Yeah.
support it. So anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're shooting it in the head now. Goodbye, everybody
Yep.
out there.
Stay curious.
Goodbye. Goodbye, cruel world. I did it.